Hi, I am Trisha with Visit Mickey Vacations, and we are here today to have episode one of our new podcast, All Aboard with Visit Mickey. So, first, why? Why all aboard? Well, our logo, if you've seen it, is a monorail with the words Visit Mickey in there. And how do we get to some of our favorite parks? Via monorail. So, all aboard, come with us, and we're going to take you on this journey of travel and Disney and conversation about pretty much our favorite subject, which is travel. And where do we like to travel? To Disney. So during this podcast, through the time of our podcast, we're going to be talking about Disney mostly, right? Because we love it. We go there. It is our favorite place to be. And then I'd say number two is cruising. We love cruising. We travel pretty much all of the brands. We're big fans of cruising. So we'll talk about the different brands of cruising as well and what we think of them and maybe rating them because we already know we have favorites and we already know which things we like with this brand and which things we like with that brand. So that'll be in our conversations at some point. And then really travel in general. But we are definitely like kind of niched on family travel, mostly to Disney, but it's Disney Universal cruising for the most part. And even though, yes, occasionally we help people go to all inclusives and things like that, we help people get to Europe, family trips, and girls' bachelorette trips and guy trips. Yes, we do that. But mostly what we do is family travel. It's kind of what's important to us. So that is the kind of topics that we'll be talking about. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Walt Disney World. We're going to talk about Disneyland, the parks, maybe the difference between Walt Disney World and land. We're going to talk about our favorite rides, what we may not like, all of that. We want this to be so real. You'll meet the real me, the real Dustin, the real Robert, the real etc. Of our team because we're authentically ourselves, honestly, and we want you to see that person. So, let me give you a little background about me. So, I'm Trisha. I'm the owner of Visit Mickey, and we started that company over 10 years ago, I think 12 years ago. And when we started, it was because um, I was a cast member at Disney. I worked at the Disney store at our local Ohio Disney store. And our store was closing. And I mean, insert sad moment here because I got to work there for 8 years and I loved it. It was really one of my favorite jobs because our motto or mission statement was be the best 30 minutes of a child's day. And so, really, our job was just to make people happy, children, very specifically, right? Make children happy. And we did that. And when we did that, we were also making the parent happy, right? So, if you could watch a parent, if you see a parent looking at their child being happy, they are happy. So, right. So I worked at the Disney store for 8 years, and then there was a mass closing of Disney stores. Oh, I hate to even think about it because it was such a sad time. And we saw, store after store. Oh, gosh, sorry, my hair. Store after store closing in the area. And then when it was our turn, it was so difficult. Um, but after that store closed, my husband came to me and said, do we need to move to Florida? And I was like, what kind of question is that? And he's like, well, I feel like you're not the same since the store closed. I feel like you kind of lost your happy since the store closed. So, do we need to move to Florida? And it seemed an absurd idea to me, like absurd. I'm not sad. I have plenty in my life to keep me happy. But then after reflection, I was like, wow, I have lost that spark, that thing that made me happy to go to work every day, or well, not every day, but the days I was scheduled. So I turned back around and I turned to a friend and I said, hey, my husband said that I'm sad since the store closed. And she also worked there and she's like, oh, yeah, I get it. I'm sad too. it's not the same. Like our day-to-day stuff is not the same. And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, you know what we should do, Trisha? You should start a travel agency. And I'll come work for you, but you should start a travel agency and focus on Disney and help people get there. And I was like, whoa, we could do that. I, I didn't know we could do that. Like, let me think about that. So lo and behold, some time goes by. My mom was ill. I'm taking care of her. After my mom dies, I go, now's the time. Now's the time to make that jump. I needed to put all of my energy in helping my mom when she was ill. So I'm like, now is the time. So I did it. I started looking everything up, Google this, do that, find out all the licensing, get my name, all the things, all the things, all the things. And we launch. And right away, right away, people noticed and business came our way. And we started with 2 people and we grew to 3, 4, 5. And now we have over 20 people here to serve the needs of our guests. And what makes us different? Well, well, I think it's the Disney that we bring, right? So, the number of past cast members that work at Visit Mickey is a pretty good ratio for our like 30% of us have worked at the Disney store. So we all believe in that be our guest feeling, right? We don't say we have clients because you don't bring a client into your life and get to know them. I mean, some people do, but for me, if I think of a person as my guest, and I want my team to feel the same way, if you think of your person as your guest, the relationship is different. They're your guest, not the client that you get paid to take care of. So those are the little things about Visit Mickey, and why I love what I do now, right? I love what I do now. I get to help people have the best time of their lives, right? So, my job is to make memories for you and your family. That's my job. And what a job that is, right? It's like a great job. So that's a little about Visit Mickey. Now a little about me. So I'm Trisha. I'm married to Mark. We have 2 daughters. Our daughters are teenagers, so I have experienced the parks from when they were 1 and 3. Well, actually under 1, so like months old and 2 up to 17 and 19. And so we really lived our whole lives with Disney in it, right? So my children have, 8 cruises under their belt, and I don't know how many trips to Disneyland and Disney World, but it is up there. And so it's always been a part of their life. And my husband had never been to Disney when we met. So I had to bring him along on this journey and get him to love Disney. And let's see, that's a little bit about just us. I have 1 typical daughter and 1 special needs daughter. So if you were to look at our website, you'll see that we have a section dedicated to traveling with special needs, and what that entails. So I say regularly when I'm speaking to people, I say, could it be harder to travel with someone with special needs? Sure, it is. It is. There's so many extra little things to think about. And then again, it depends on what the need is. Is there a wheelchair needed? Is there not? Is equipment needed? Is there not? And we've helped people of all forms of special needs now. But what is the extra need? But then there's the payoff. Yes, it's harder to take someone who has special needs to Disney, but the payoff, the reward is greater than you can imagine. To see the faces, to see their faces, to see maybe stress and anxiety melt away because they're in their favorite place. To see, for my daughter especially, right? So, oops, hit the microphone. So my daughter, I would say she's stressed. Like she holds her stress up here on her shoulder. And I see on Main Street, this is like first or second visit. I see this, and as she looks around, see this, right? And I see the posture change, and I see the light in her eyes, and I see the little smile on her face, and I could still see it today in my mind's eye because it was magical. I mean, it was incredible. And I slapped my husband like, hey, 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 look at that. I said, we'll be coming here every year for the rest of our lives. Like literally the first time I saw my daughter completely, utterly let go of every anxiety she had. And I saw the way she looked completely like relaxed and in the magic. Those were the words I said to him. And it's funny the things that you remember, but I said, we'll be coming here every year for the rest of our lives. And well, we have, right? So far, we've been there every year since, and even more. So those are some special moments that are part of my life. Um, and my travels to Disney started when I was 9. So my mother and father and my cousins, their parents, my cousins, we all drive down to Disney from Ohio. By the way, we are in the Cleveland suburbs of Ohio. We drive down to Disney and we stay outside of Disney camping, right? So like we had to do it on a dime. Um, and that first visit with family, oh my gosh. Wait, I have incredible pictures and I'm going to see if I can insert them somewhere where I could show you all of us on the like the rail of Magic Kingdom with the castle. Oh gosh. If I can insert the picture, I'm going to find out how. And I'm going to insert it right here. That's my goal, right? Right here, there's going to be a picture of my first visit when I was 9 years old. Um, and it's still that level of incredible to me. And I hope it never isn't, right? I hope that no matter when I go, I feel this rush of emotions and love because I do believe there's a place where magic exists, right? I do believe that you can let go of your fears and let go of your anxieties and just be in the moment. If you can do that, it is the most magical place on earth. It is the happiest place on earth. Um, and those are two different places, by the way, and that will be part of a future discussion of the place where dreams come true, the most magical place on earth, the happiest place on earth. There, Walt Disney World, Disneyland. So anyway, future conversation there. Okay, so then travel, travel, travel as a kid. Very rare, but we did go to Disney for every anniversary, every 5 and every 10 anniversary. And oh, I saw the Cake Castle. Very unpopular opinion. However, the Cake Castle was amazing. That's another picture. If I can find, I actually don't know where that one. I know where the first picture is, but if I can find my Cake Castle picture, I will put it here because it was good. It was really good. So you enter the old turnstile way and you have to come around the train station and then you come up Main Street and you see that Cake Castle. I'm sorry. I know people do not like it, but it was so impressive. And it was like, I don't know, it was a very wow moment. If you'd been there before. Now, maybe it was your very first time at Disney World, Walt Disney World, and maybe on your very first time, you'd be like, oh man, I wanted to see the castle, and you were seeing a different version of the castle. Maybe that's the bummer. But I had been there before. So I had seen the castle in all her glory. And now I was seeing her differently, but so cool. So I know it's unpopular, but the Cake Castle was the bomb. It really was. It was so cool. And I like remember like walking up to it and trying to stare at it, going, how'd they do this? They do this. I was younger and like I know now how they did it. But then I'm like, wow, this is incredible. gosh. So, Kate Castle, I was a fan. Oh, I have where is that? Somewhere. Oh, it's over there. I'm not going to go get it right now, but I have the McDonald's glasses, and one of them has the Kate Castle on it, the 25th anniversary McDonald's glasses, and be part of a future video too. So one of them has the Kate Castle on there, and it was cool. So, and back then, these were beautiful glasses, and you could get them for 99 cents with your meal. So, yeah, yeah, that was pretty awesome. So, what else do I want to tell you? Uh, oh, I was saying, I did have a video, a reel on Instagram and Facebook a little while ago talking about the importance of travel. Um, I'll probably just do a video on that. I don't know what to say about that, except for I really wholeheartedly believe you have to travel when you can. Um, and I've seen it. I've seen all the memes that say you can always make more money, travel now. I've seen those memes. And even though I do believe that is true, they're maybe too simple. They're too simple to say you can always make more money, just travel now. Yes, it's true. But what they don't say is you may not be given tomorrow. And I think that's the further thought you got to think about. So in my video, I talked about my mom who worked for a company that had a pension after 55 years old and 20 years of service. So my mom was 55 years old and had 19 years and change of service at her company. So she could not retire yet. But that's when she got cancer. And again, this is years ago. I can talk about it a little bit more calmly because I've had time under my belt. But she gets cancer. She has to stay at work under like the minimum requirement and then under disability in order to earn her 20 years, in order to officially retire from the company and get her pension. But that meant that she was not working and she was sick. And of course, we spend a lot of money when we're sick. And she gets sick, she gets cancer, she goes into remission. It comes back a few months later. She goes back into remission. It comes back again. She goes back into remission and starts a bone marrow transplant and then stays in remission for a good number of years. However, that's so hard on your body. Chemo, bone marrow transplant, even more hard on your body. So she's not well enough to travel anymore, right? So her goal was to go to Italy. That was her goal. We were going to go to Italy when she was 55, 20 years of service, retired from her company. And she got sick at 55. So we never went those places. We did go to Disney. We did go to Disney after that, but that was all she did after she got sick. So when I say you can always make more money, it is true, but that's not really the bigger message. The bigger message is you may not be given the time. You don't know what tomorrow brings. You don't know how much time you have. And I think that that was why I brought that up in my reel, is because I was feeling it, right? I'm about to travel again and I'm going back to Europe in a month. And I look at that and go, my mom never got there. And I'm about to go back for my fourth time. So it does sting a little to think, that I am, but I also think she'd be very proud that I built this business that allows me to travel and go to some of the places that she wanted to go. So I choose to look at it from that lens, and I feel that is probably accurate of how she would feel. But it's important to say that people don't use their PTO. So use your PTO, make more money, travel, repeat. And I say these things because you do not know how long you have. You don't know what life's going to throw at you. You don't know if you're going to lose your job. You don't know if this, you don't know if that, you don't know if your health's going to stay. So while you have your health, while you have your job, especially while you have a job that gives you PTO, use it. Take time off, come back. Okay, enough of that. Back to more fun. So here is one side of my office. So I have two desks in my office. The one over there is my day-to-day, everyday desk, the one that you cannot see. And the one behind me is when I have like certain things that I have to really focus on. So I sit at this desk when I need like absolute focus, and that desk over there is a standing desk. So when I'm doing my day-to-day stuff, that's great. But when I need like super focus, I sit right here. So I thought I would take you on a little tour of my. All right. So we're going to start right here. This is my D23 official fan charter year. So I'm a charter year member of D23. I joined it when it came out and I was like, oh my goodness, this is for me, something that's just for the fans of Disney. This is going to be perfection. And that is my charter year certificate. Above that, I have Mickey, Captain Mickey from Disney Cruise Line. And then I have this pendant. I actually have several pendants in my office. I don't know why. I think I like them, and that's why I have them because they're easy to put up on a wall. Just pin them to the wall, and they're light. Probably also they're a very light souvenir that can come home and fit in my luggage. So I do have multiple pendants throughout my office. One is from 1956 in Disneyland. So that's my oldest one. And it is certainly worn. And I can't help it. I know I'm looking up, but I'm looking at my pendant. Okay, so moving on. Ooh, these are my number one favorite ears. So these are my, oops, sorry. These are my Disneyland Paris ears. And aren't they beautiful? I mean, look at like these are like beautiful. So it's dark blue, not black. And then Tink with their castle, which is the prettiest castle. It's the prettiest one. Okay. And then we have these are awards, right? These are awards for basically doing my job, right? Like uh booking, taking care of people, making sales. This is why I earned these awards. So this is last year's award. This is Sorcerer Mickey. And this is the year before. This is Walt the Dreamer. So it's a replica of Walt the Dreamer. Previous to having these ears, these were my favorite ears. They are the basic, mini ear, like the classic mini ear, but I love them. They also fit my head perfectly, never get a headache kind of ears. So that's actually probably why they're my favorite because never get a headache wearing them. This genie right here is from D23. Every year we get some kind of gift from D23, and that is who I got last year. And then I have Dale. Vinylmations. Who remembers what Vinylmations are? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, back when I worked at the Disney store, that was a hot topic, right? Vinylmations. People would come in and then there were like full sets and then were blind ones and people would buy whole boxes so they could get all of them. It was a thing. It was a major thing. If you don't know what they are, go look them up. All right. So there's my, okay, here. Turn. Oops, sorry. Okay. Over here we have, I don't know. Let's see if I can move this. Oh, yeah. Okay. Over here we have also D23, but a previous year. Right there. We have my only pair of Disneyland ears. They are leather. They are beautiful. They are dated though, and I never buy anything dated. I'm not a fan of dated merch, but for whatever reason, I like these enough to buy dated merch. They are beautiful. They also fit my head nicely, so I don't get a headache. And that is, again, the criteria of ears for me. Okay, this right there, it is the Walt Disney stamp from the 1964 World's Fair. So, the World's Fair is such a big deal. Disney going to it and bringing multiple, bringing the animatronic of Lincoln and bringing the It's a Small World to the World's Fair in 1964 was a huge thing. And so much so, look, commemorated by a stamp. And it's Walt Disney. I should grab it, but it's Walt Disney, and then It's a Small World dolls behind him. And then here we have the water tower from the Burbank Studios. And there we have also from Burbank Studios. It's a replica. It was Disney Productions, Disney Store. The Disney Store did a reproduction series last year, early 2024, and I bought them. I love them. They remind me of my time on at the Burbank Studios. Of course, I have Dasani water from Galaxy's Edge. Oh, we have Sleeping Beauty's Castle, which is the castle found. Okay, I'm going to change back again. One. I have the Sleeping Beauty Castle Funko Pop. I do have probably 4 or 5 Funko Pops. So I have a great team. I love my team, and we all get along very well. And they bought me this business card holder, but I actually display my D23 membership card because one, I love this card. It's got Chip and Dale, who I just adore and seek out every visit, every cruise, every world, every land. They are even at Aulani. So I seek out my chipmunks when I'm traveling because I have such fun with them. They play off each other. And I love to engage. I will engage with those with the characters all day long. They are fun. So anyway, so I have my business card holder holding up my Chip and Dale D23 membership card from I don't know what year. This was 2012. Let's see. I'll put that back. There we go. Um, also from my time at Disneyland Paris, we went for the 30th anniversary. I don't know. It's hard. Okay, there we go. We went for the 30th anniversary, Disneyland Paris, right before we did a Rhine River cruise. And I picked this up. Again, I am a fan of light things to come home. So Funko Pops are light, and if I buy them, I do not keep packaging. I got to take them out of the packaging because they have to be light, fit in my luggage, get home safely. So I might buy a Funko Pop. I bought this because it was light, fit in my luggage, no problem. I like to buy a souvenir every trip. But admittedly, a lot of them are small because I want to just have them display in my office and give me a happy memory when I'm thinking about it. And so this is my Disneyland Paris keychain, which does not get used as a keychain, obviously. It sits here in my office so that I can occasionally look at it and get happy. All right. Oops, sorry. So I think that's the gist of us, right? Of Visit Mickey, of me, of why we're doing it. We want to talk about Disney more. We have, I mean, I'd love to talk about like the movies when they come out and then what we think of them and give an honest review, and then find out what you think, right? I definitely know we're going to be talking about rides. Definitely know we're going to be talking about rides. We're going to talk about when we go on the new ones. So we do have some perks by we get invited to sometimes to openings of things. So like I got invited to a Tiana opening in Walt Disney World. So I was able to ride it before a lot of people. So I have, video and I have pictures from us riding the bayou. That's the kind of thing I want to come here after and talk about, because it's something that's new and people want, firsthand experience. So we'll definitely be doing that. I think a lot of this or that, I'd love to have some this or that episodes where we talk about the difference between world and land, for example, or maybe even individual land or individual parks, Epcot versus, Hollywood. I mean, these are the things that I want to talk about because it just makes us so happy to talk about Disney. And if it makes you happy to talk about Disney, I hope you will subscribe and like and do the notification and all the things that you do to make sure that you see us again. And I'm so excited. So thank you for coming to our first podcast at All Aboard with Visit Mickey. Hopefully I have a cute little thing to put here that talks about our logo and we have all the things that you do when you're doing a podcast. So thank you so much and we'll see you real soon.